Hello, hello, listeners. Welcome to God's Story for Kids. I'm your host, Henry. You can call me Hank.
And I'm Sophisticated, Sophie for short. We are so glad you're joining us today. I thought we could start by playing a little game.
I love games. What are we playing? A little baseball? Maybe Monopoly?
Those would be kind of hard to play with our listeners on a podcast, don't you think?
Oh, right. So what'd you have in mind, Sophie?
I was thinking we could play Would You Rather.
Oh, can I start? I have a really good one.
Sure, what you got?
Would you rather have a huge booger hanging out of your nose for the rest of your life or constant earwax dripping out of your ears?
Ew! Gross. I guess I'd probably choose earwax. What about you?
Definitely a booger.
Why?
When I get bored, I could just see how close I could get my tongue to it before people get grossed out.
I'm pretty sure you walking around with a giant booger would be gross enough, Hank.
What? It's natural.
Okay, my turn. Would you rather read a book or watch TV?
TV.
I'd rather read. Your turn.
Would you rather only be able to eat healthy foods for the rest of your life or junk food?
For the rest of my life, that's kind of hard. But I think I'll go with healthy food.
What? Why?
Well, when I eat too much junk food, I get a stomach ache. And I don't want that for the rest of my life.
Oh, well, good point. But I'd definitely rather have junk food. I couldn't live without cookie cakes.
Yum.
Okay, my turn. Would you rather have a magic carpet that flies or your own personal robot?
A robot? That would be awesome. Hey, Botley, help me with my math homework. Oh, yeah, you can definitely sign me up for that.
I'd take the magic carpet. I would fly wherever I want and wave at everybody down below.
One more, Sophie?
Sure, one more.
I saved the best for last.
Uh-oh.
Would you rather lick a dirty trash can or the bathroom floor?
Nope, I just can't.
You have to answer, Sophie.
Well, what would you choose?
Trash can.
Same.
Why?
No one's feet have been in the trash.
Good point. Okay, Sophie, I have something else I need to talk to you about now.
What is it?
You remember my pen pal in California?
Yeah?
Well, I got a letter from her this week with a question that I'm not sure how to answer.
What's the question?
Let's see. It's been rainy here. Spilled the whole box of Cheerios. Took a test. Oh, here it is. It says, there's a kid in my class at school who keeps getting picked on. What should I do?
That's kind of tough.
I know. That's why I wanted to ask you. Don't you have a Bible verse that can help us or something?
Well, now that you mention it, I was reading in the Old Testament this morning from the book of Isaiah, and I saw something that maybe could help us. Oh, here it is. Let's have one of our listeners read it for us.
Arise, Jerusalem. Let your light shine for all to see, for the glory of the Lord rises to shine upon you. Darkness as black as night covers all the nations of the earth. But the glory of the Lord rises and appears over you. All nations will come to your light. Mighty kings will come to see your radiance.
Huh? How does that help us, Sophie? His question isn't about light and darkness.
It kind of is, actually.
What do you mean?
Your pen pal was saying that a kid is getting picked on. That's an example of darkness in our world. God doesn't want people to be mean to each other. He wants us to reflect the light of His love and shine bright for all to see.
Reflect the light, you say?
Yeah, we can reflect the light of God's love.
Sophie, I know all about reflections.
You do? What do you know?
You know my fish, Worm?
Yeah?
Well, he chases his reflection in his aquarium. It's hilarious.
Okay.
And I have a joke about reflections, too.
All right, let's hear it.
When I grow up, I want to be a mirror cleaner. It's something I could really see myself doing.
Okay, that was pretty good, Hank. You can see your reflection in the mirror while you clean it.
I have just one more thing to say about reflections.
Okay, one more.
This one is a fun fact. Did you know that the moon doesn't actually give off any light?
Huh? What do you mean? It looks pretty bright at night to me.
Nope. The light from the moon is actually from the sun.
How?
The sun is so bright that its light goes out and bounces off the moon. So it looks like the moon is glowing, but it's actually just a reflection of the sun.
Hank, that's brilliant.
It is? Well, I mean, it is science.
No, that reminds me of the Bible verse we read earlier. And that's the answer to your pen pal's question.
The answer is the moon?
The answer is be the moon.
How can we be the moon?
The Bible verse said that we should let our light shine for all to see because the glory of the Lord rises to shine on us. So it's like the love of Jesus shines onto us and then reflects out onto other people.
So you're saying that my pen pal should reflect the love of Jesus to the kid who is getting picked on at school?
Yes, exactly.
So he should be the moon and reflect the light of God's love.
Yes. Kids, can you think of a time that you've been the moon and shared God's love already this year?
I prayed at school. I told people about God at school. I share God's love by being kind.
I like that. Be the moon, Sophie. Be the moon, listeners, because this is where your story meets God's story.
What are you reflecting these days, kids? Are you showing others the kindness, patience, and love of Jesus? Or are you maybe reflecting a little more of the same stuff those kids are showing who are picking on that kid?
It's kind of a tough question, but it's a good one to think about for all of us.
We all make mistakes, and Jesus forgives us for those things. But I think this week we should all commit to being the moon and shining the light of God's love with those around us a little more.
And remember, kids, that you matter. You are loved, and you are part of God's story.
God's Story for Kids.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of God's Story for Kids. It's easy to find us here each week by hitting the subscribe button and then let your friends know how much you love it.
And if you're looking for more ways to plug into Lutheran Church of Hope's annual theme, the whole Holy Bible in a year, check out our website for weekly family devotions and other resources for kids and adults. And if you're local, we hope to see you at Hope Kids on weekends and Wednesdays.
We'll see you next week. God loves you.